And well, Afren, which is a UK-based oil and gas company, seeks to broaden its African footprint. The company has more than doubled its East African resource estimates to 5.8 billion barrels of oil and plans to drill exploration wells in Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania and Madagascar in the next 18 months. Joining us for more is Galib Virani. He's Associate Director at Afren. Galib, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Well, let's get straight into this renewed focus in terms of where you're directing a lot of your attention right now, that to the east coast of Africa. Run us through the kind of potential you've actually identified there.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon, Alishia and Lindsay. East Africa is emerging as a global oil and gas hotspot. We've seen some of the largest discoveries in Africa taking place in East Africa of recent times. Over 1 billion barrels discovered in Uganda, significant multi-TCF discoveries in Mozambique and Tanzania, and a potentially transformational oil discovery onshore Kenya. We've had the benefit of hindsight at Afren. We have gone into East Africa somewhat early on, ahead of these recent discoveries and much of the mergers and acquisitions activity that we've seen in the region. Having entered in 2010, we acquired a portfolio of 9 assets across 4 countries and quickly followed that up with an entry into a 5th country, Tanzania.
Galib, why suddenly has it happened? Is it because of a sudden surge in Afro-optimism? Is it because of technological advances in exploration? What's the sudden reason? Or is it because of the oil price merrily trading away as we speak at around about $114 a barrel for Brent crude?
Look, I think what's fascinating, and sometimes we forget this, is this is not recent. There has been an established working petroleum system in East Africa since 1842, when the first discovery took place in Madagascar. There is over 20 billion barrels in place in Madagascar. And this discovery happened at a time much earlier than the initial discovery in Nigeria. What you had in the 80s, the 70s, 80s and 90s is a focus and preoccupation with West Africa. There has been participation by the smaller independents in East Africa, which has been somewhat of a catalyst to the recent activity, where you're now seeing the majors active in East Africa, some of the larger independents active in East Africa.
To what extent, Galib, are we seeing a shift or a change in the way you actually engage with the territories on the East Coast? And if we compare it to the way you've engaged over on the West Coast in the past?
Sorry, can you clarify that? Do you mean with our host governments?
Yeah, or just taking a look at, East Africa is new to this territory or new to this game, whereas West Africa has, been in it for a while, and it's often referred to having an oil curse placed on it with regards to management of resources. So as a player that's engaging with these new territories, are you doing it any differently?
Look, I think what is very encouraging to see is the significant investment in both time and cost that is going into the oil and gas policy frameworks within the East African community and drawing on global best practices. I've seen firsthand examples of ensuring optimal national participation, encouraging local employment, local institutional capacity building, setting up oil and gas funds or the infrastructure for oil and gas funds for economic redevelopment.
Galib, it's Lindsay again. Just final question now, away from the oil business and more onto the market business. Any aspirations to list in Africa given your African operations?
Look, absolutely. I mean, it's, Nigeria has where the lion's share of our cash flow originates. We will generate about $1 billion of cash flow, largely out of Nigeria this year. we have an eye on some form of local listing. And as the liquidity develops in East Africa, I certainly wouldn't rule out a local listing of some form in time to come.